Having worked with clutterholics and hoarders for over 20 years, I know there are certain characteristics that many of us have in common. And in this video, I'm going to talk about one specific common characteristic. That is, that we tend to overthink. Many people who struggle with clutter experience the crippling effects of overthinking, which can cause us to feel mentally drained, emotionally vulnerable, and sabotage our success. Many people overthink both before and during their 7-step journey in an attempt to minimize risk and reduce anxiety. It often begins as a simple attempt to make a decision, but it can quickly spiral into an exhausting, unproductive cycle of rumination. We avoid or delay starting our 7-step journey because we spend so much time overthinking the pros and cons. This can lead to overwhelm and procrastination, which sabotages us simply starting. Overthinking doesn't stop when and if we actually start our 7-step journey. We overthink how many videos there are to watch, which leads to overwhelm, how long our journey will take, the endless what-ifs that we want to know the answers to in advance so that we can get a plan B ready now, all of which sabotage our progress. We overthink and overplan our weekly planners, which ensures they are unrealistic. And as a result, we sabotage our attempts to build a reliable routine of simply doing the doing. Eventually, overthinking creates an emotional loop of doubt, hesitation, and procrastination, and we eventually give up again. Understanding the underlying causes of overthinking is the first step towards breaking free from it. So here are 5 reasons why people overthink. So the first reason is the fear of failure. The idea of making a mistake or taking a wrong decision can be overwhelming and cause us to replay scenarios endlessly in our minds. This fear often stems from real or imagined social pressures or our own perfectionism, where every choice and decision is weighed heavily against potential consequences. People who fear failure tend to analyze every detail of a situation or decision in an attempt to avoid, reduce, or eliminate the risk, which isn't possible in real life. When you focus on thinking and don't take any or enough action, you unintentionally guarantee failure. For instance, someone wanting to clear their clutter may overthink different aspects of the journey, the unfamiliar method, the time it's going to take, the effort that it requires, the cost, the opinions of friends and family. This habit of dissecting all possibilities and trying to consider everyone may give you a temporary sense of control, but it will paralyze your progress. The crippling fear of failure means you get stuck on your journey and stay in your cluttered comfort zone. Yet you can only succeed when you stop thinking and step into the learning and change zone by taking action. Only then will you make progress. The second reason why we overthink is because of uncertainty and a lack of control. Humans are naturally wired to seek comfort from familiarity and predictability, and the inability to predict outcomes can lead to increased anxiety and overthinking. This lack of control drives overwhelm as you try to dissect each possible outcome to reassure yourself that you have found the perfect decision. The unpredictable and forever changing modern world often intensifies feelings of uncertainty, which only adds to the overwhelm and overthinking that we do, especially in relation to our clutter. The what-if scenarios that we play out in our head when making decisions don't seem as far-fetched as they might have done in the past. We may overthink as a way of mentally organizing the chaos, but unfortunately, this leads to analysis paralysis rather than taking action to make the progress that we need to on our journey. The third reason why we overthink is because of social comparisons, the habit of comparing yourself to others, especially other journey members. We are especially at risk of overthinking when we feel stuck while someone else is making steady, consistent progress, even though we may not have access to all the facts. For example, how long have they been on their journey? How many times have they been stuck? Their ability to ask for help when they need it. How much appropriate support have they had? What life challenges have they got to overcome where they are, to get where they are? These assumptions and unrealistic expectations can cause people to question whether their own journey measures up. a process that involves into overthinking and eventually giving up. Indeed, many journey members are not in the VIP circle precisely because they know that they have a habit of comparing themselves to others, and that this mental spiral can be emotionally draining and counterproductive because it takes time, energy, and focus away from making progress on their journey. The fourth reason why we overthink is because of unresolved trauma and negative past experiences. When people have endured hurtful or challenging life events, their minds can become fixated on avoiding similar situations in the future. This can lead to overthinking as they attempt to anticipate, control, and minimize the risks in the present and future. Although overthinking helps provide a sense of security that the person needs, it also makes it difficult to make decisions, take action, do the doing, and move forward on their journey. The link between trauma and overthinking is further complicated by two default settings in our brain. So first is our natural negative bias. We are affected more by negative events than positive or neutral events. And the second is rumination, the brain's tendency to replay negative memories. These two factors can trap you in a cycle of recalling past pain and trauma because you are worrying or expecting it to happen again. Breaking free from this cycle often requires professional support. The fifth and final reason why we overthink is because of perfectionism, and is perhaps the most common reason why people who struggle with clutter overthink. Perfectionists scrutinize every detail, decision, and outcome, and set exceedingly high standards for themselves and others, believing that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. On their journey, perfectionists will write word-for-word notes instead of headline notes and watch videos more than twice for fear of missing or forgetting something that later turns out to be important. They expect to have all the answers or complete exercises perfectly before moving on to the next video. As a result, they struggle to make consistent progress on their journey and they get stuck. It's good to want to do well, but when it crosses into perfectionism, overthinking becomes a byproduct, leaving you trapped in an endless cycle of getting stuck on your journey and not making progress. If you recognize your tendency to overthink anything in relation to your clutter, and you want to clear your clutter forever, just like I did 25 years ago, then click on the link with this video and find out how I can help you.